All right, are you planning your first ever out of state hunt? If so, this video is going to help you get there and it's going to help you get there this year. But before we dig into these 5 tips I have for you, here's something for you to remember. Don't go asking questions of people who have no idea about planning an out of state hunt. If they've never been on an out of state hunt, I promise you, you already know more than they do about planning an out of state hunt. Their ideas or their comments or opinions are going to give you a more than likely a bad idea, give you negative thoughts. So just refrain from voicing those comments or questions to people if you can. Now, yeah, you might want to ask your spouse, just kind of bounce that off of them budget wise. But anybody else, keep it to yourself until you know for sure. So, anyway, let's jump right in. The first thing I think you should do is pick an animal that you already have experience hunting. Okay, there's no sense in if you live in Virginia like I do, you've never been on an out of state hunt, you don't know how any of that works. Don't pick a state hours and hours away. I did that for my first hunt, and if I didn't have a ton of planning going into it, it would have been bad. It could have been bad. Enough bad stuff happened on that trip, but it worked out for us. But pick a state that you personally can drive to on your own in a fair amount of time. Okay, even if it's your next state like bordering you, great, go for it. I do that every year. I hunt Tennessee every year, and it is still an out of state hunt. Okay, so think ease of travel. How can I get there? And hunt an animal that I already have experience hunting, like plan a deer hunt if you have experience deer hunting. Turkey hunt, bear hunt, whatever you already have the experience to do it. Go for that. Okay. Second, just pick a state that not only draws your attention, but a state that you can get your tags at a reasonable price or over the counter. Okay. So, like, if you're planning a trip, don't be planning a, we'll say like this, don't be planning an elk hunt in an area that you think you don't know if you can get a tag for. If you have experience deer hunting, plan a deer hunting trip to a state that you know you can go buy a tag for. And you'll learn that by doing a little bit of research. But, like, pick some place that you know you can just roll up and buy the tag. That way, you can do a lot of planning. And if you don't go forward with it, you you don't have to worry about buying your tag. You can buy your tag the day before you get there or the day you get there. So go that route as far as where to pick a state with your tag. So now you're narrowing it down even more. Okay. So you've picked an animal that you want to hunt, and now you can narrow it down to a state that you want to hunt based off of availability of tags to you. So once you've determined your query and your states and you narrow it down, try to look up harvest information. And by harvest information, I'm talking about success rates. Most states publish those. Some states, it might be information from 2 years ago. It might not be last year's, but they'll still give you an idea. And why I want you to look up success rates is you don't want to be hunting in an area that has a low density of animals, which is going to result in a low success rate more than likely. So you want to hunt somewhere that has a high success rate so you can stack the odds in your favor. Okay. And look for some place, in my opinion, that is like 30% or higher. So that would be like 3 out of 10 hunters going into the woods on public land and being able to fill their tags. Obviously, the higher the better, but it's going to be kind of tough to find that in an over the counter area of like 30 to 40% or higher. So go ahead and stack your odds by picking an area that you know has high success rates. So that's really going to help you. My fourth suggestion would be to stay in a hotel or Airbnb for your first trip. I say that because if you are miles away from home, you're putting a lot of miles not only on your vehicle, but on your feet when you're out looking for game. You could possibly have inclement weather. And the last thing you want to do is have to go crawl into a tent, fix your food, and go to bed after a sponge bath. You have to deal with tent life, with stoves, and all that. So just set yourself up for success and budget for a hotel or Airbnb. That way you can for sure get a warm shower and hopefully a cozy bed. Okay, and I say that because if you are tent camping, that just adds in another element of planning as far as your hunt because you have to worry about getting all your gear out there, getting a good place to camp, and all these other fine details that could possibly fog your hunt, your actual hunt planning. So tent camping is cheaper to do. I have now worked my way into that. just so I can go on more hunts. But if you've never been on a hunt and you don't have the gear, I would say budget for a place to stay versus budget for buying gear your first time, because you might not like hunting out of state. You might not like some of the challenges or the area or whatever it is. Um, so just save that for a few trips away. Just go ahead and budget for a place to stay, and it'll treat you good. You'll get a hot shower, good cozy bed. You'll sleep better, and your hunt will just go better. I promise you. And my fifth tip is make it low stress. Make it fun. Okay. Don't plan a trip in this crazy remote, hard to get to place where you gotta buy a bunch of gear that you don't own or stuff that you can't borrow from somebody. So plan something fun. Like me, I'm in Virginia. I try planning an easy trip every time that I can. Like a deer hunt in Kansas, even though you can't go buy that tag over the counter, will be a fun trip for someone who already knows how to deer hunt. You already got most of the gear. Just show up and hunt once you figure out where to go. A turkey hunt in another state is a great hunt to do for your first trip. One, because turkeys, I would say for the most part, are plentiful. If you have a lot of experience, you can get in some place to be and have a great time. So just make it low stress, have fun, and this ain't my top 5 tips, but here's another little nugget I'll give you. When you're planning your first trip, try to pick a place that has literally thousands of acres that you can hunt, because you don't want to be driving across the country and then hunting these small 40, 50, 200 acre parcels, 300 acre parcels, 1,000 acre parcels, because they're going to be spread out. Try finding a place that's got a giant chunk of land. It's got roads going through it. If it's 25,000 acres and there's 2 roads going through it, that's going to be plenty of land for you to get away from other hunters. Okay, and that might not sound appealing to people, but it's going to help you because you want to have plenty of areas for you to hunt. So take these tips. Remember, keep it low stress, keep it fun. A lot of things can happen on these out-of-state hunts. Like me, my first hunt we went on, I slaughtered a deer with my buddy's F-350 in the middle of the night, tore our truck all to pieces. We ended up driving around for like 7 days with a duct-taped door. Uh, I mean, you can go places and get 18 inches of snow like we did in Colorado this year. Okay, and then ride around tire chains for 6 days. Still a great time, but you've got to be prepared and plan for this stuff. And again, like you don't have to have the best gear to get you there. Does it help and make it more enjoyable? Yes, and you want to take the best stuff you can. Okay, but like me, I've got two 2008 model vehicles. Okay, I'll post a picture of them. They are reliable. They get me there. They work. They do everything, but no, they do not have all the bells and whistles of a 2023 model vehicle. Okay, but now I could load up and drive them anywhere in the continental U.S. and feel fine that I'm going to get there. But the reason I drive a 2008 model vehicle is so I can budget to do more hunting and things with my family. That's not a priority for me having a brand new vehicle. So, anyway, just remember, keep it low stress, keep it fun, plan your trip in a state to hunt an animal that you already have experience getting at. Stay in an Airbnb or a hotel. Make sure it's a state where you can go get your tag at the last minute. That way, if you're planning and something comes up, you're not stuck with a $700-800 tag. You're not stuck. You can purchase your tag the day you get there, or day before, or what have you, and you'll have a great time. So don't procrastinate. Go on a hunt and have a great time.